What's up, guys? You're here with Goran from Pickdawgz, and thank you for joining me here for your free picks for Sunday, April 28th. Well, guys, after a busy Saturday with a bunch of free picks in Europe and in the MLS as well, where we had 14 games, we are turning on to Sunday, where we have 15 free picks for you and another parlay of the day, of course, at the end of this video. Now, please have in mind that I'm recording this video a couple of days ahead because I will be gone on Saturday and Sunday, and I'm not able to record then, which means that some of the prices and the odds I have might be a little bit different now than they will be on Sunday. So just keep that in mind, guys. For more free picks, of course, go up to the Pick Dawgz YouTube channel and check it out. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that like button. Feel free to leave a comment as usual. I'll be more than happy to answer any of the questions you might have. And for my best bets, click the link in the description that will get you up to my page where you can sign up, get a daily pass, 3-day pass, 7-day pass, or even a month-long pass if that's something you want to do. Have in mind that we do have Champions League, Europa League, and the Conference League next week as well. I believe there are some cup games as well, and maybe some games in the EPL and such. So it's going to be a fairly busy weekend once again. Let's get this show on the road, guys. Like we usually do, we are gonna kick it off with the EPL. Bournemouth and Brighton is the first game of the day that we have in the EPL, and I think it's gonna be interesting one. Bournemouth has had a decent few games. They had some nice positive results. They have been playing well. They have been scoring goals. They're coming off of a nice win against Wolverhampton 1-0 on the road. While Brighton, on the other side, hasn't won any of their last five games, and they are definitely due for a nice performance. I do expect a little bit from Bournemouth to do something in this game, at least offensively, if not defensively. But I expect a lot more from Brighton in this game. Yes, they still have a lot of injuries, but so does Bournemouth on the other side as well. And I think this is going to be the game where we won't see much defense on either side. So with all that in mind, guys, I'm taking over 9.5 shots on target at minus 133. For our next pick, we have that big matchup, London Derby. Tottenham is hosting Arsenal, and I think this is going to be a very interesting game. The title is basically in Arsenal's hand, even though City has still a game in hand or something, or maybe even two games in hand. Arsenal is at the top of the table right now, and they need to get a win out of this game. There's no way around it. Now, the thing is that Tottenham is not a good defensive team. They cannot play defensively, and if they want to defend in this game, they will lose badly. Which means that Tottenham has to go out. They have to go for goals, and they're still fighting for that top four spot and the Champions League spot, which is definitely something they want to do, and they want to qualify for the Champions League. Now, like I said, Arsenal needs a win to stay at the top of the table. Tottenham needs a win to get to the top four if they can do it this season because Aston Villa is 4 points ahead. But both teams are great in the attacking end, while Tottenham is very bad defensively. I still think they can score a goal at home. And with that in mind, I'm taking both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at minus 133. The last game in the EPL of the day is between Nottingham Forest and Manchester City. And I'm keeping this one very simple, guys. Manchester City is now on a two-game winning streak once again. They have kept two clean sheets in a row, scored 5 goals, and now they're playing against Nottingham Forest, who are not a good defensive team, as they conceded uh, 60 goals already this season. 25 of those were conceded at home. So to keep it simple, we have to take advantage of the price that we are getting on Manchester City to win it over 2.5 goals. It's minus 128. I simply cannot pass it up, guys, and I will take it for a full unit. So I'm taking City to win and over 2.5 goals at minus 128. Off to Spanish La Liga, guys, where we have a couple of games to talk about. I decided to go with Villarreal and Rayo Vallecano game. Villarreal has lost only one of their last 6 games. However, they have conceded at least a goal in 5 of those 6 games. Rayo Vallecano, on the other side, is above the relegation zone, not by much, and they could definitely use a positive outcome out of this game. And they're actually playing quite well right now. They're undefeated in their last 4 games, and seeing how Villarreal is very sloppy when it comes to defending, I think that Rayo Vallecano can get to the scoreboard in this one. So I'm gonna take both teams to score at minus 139. Betis and Sevilla is the biggest derby of the day in in Spanish La Liga, and it is one of the biggest derbies in Spain overall. These two teams are from the same city. There's a big rivalry going on, and whenever they meet up, it's basically a bloodshed, and I don't expect this one to be much different. Both teams are playing pretty well right now. Betis on a two-game winning streak, Sevilla on a three-game winning streak. I would say that they're both fairly safe, especially Sevilla, while Real Betis is still fighting for Europe, and they could definitely use a win out of this one, but it's not going to be an easy one. So as soon as I saw the matchup, guys, the cards popped into my head. Over 5.5 cards is actually priced quite decently, but I'm gonna go with the red card in this one. I'm gonna take red card to be awarded to either side. It's plus 205 right now. Usually we see that price around plus 250, 280, 300 even on some games. But in this one, you can tell that the books are kind of expecting it, but they really can't afford to go lower than plus 200 and 5 that we are getting. And I will take this for half a unit or so. So I'm taking red card to be awarded in Betis versus Sevilla. In German Bundesliga, we have three games on Saturday, guys. Sunday, that is. And the first one is between Borussia Mönchengladbach and Union Berlin. Union Berlin is still not out of the woods in Bundesliga, and they still might get relegated unless they get a few positive results at the end of the season. While Borussia Mönchengladbach is now on a two-game losing streak, during which they've conceded 6 goals and scored 4 goals. So we can see that they're producing in the attack again, but they cannot keep a clean sheet. And that's a chance for Union Berlin to do something here. They are on a three-game losing streak. They do not look well. They have scored only 1 goal during those 3 games, scored only 1 goal in their last 4 games. But seeing how bad Borussia Mönchengladbach is defensively, I have to put my faith in Union Berlin in this one. I'm going to go with both teams to score in over 2.5 goals at plus 115. Mainz and Köln is a very interesting matchup because both teams are fighting to stay in Bundesliga for the next season as well. At the moment, Mainz is safe. They are now well, they are not safe. They are in that promotion or relegation playoff spot with 27 points. But Union Berlin is only 2 points above, and Bochum is only 3 points above. Köln on the other side is 5 points below Mainz, and if they want to have a chance of staying in Bundesliga, this is a must-win game for them. However, if they open up too soon in the game, it could cost them a lot, and that potentially could be a problem because it could cost them points as well, which makes me think this one could start a little bit slower. So I decided to go with the first half draw at plus 132. The last game of the day in Bundesliga is between Darmstadt and Heidenheim. Darmstadt, surprisingly enough, is coming off of a win, but it's not going to do them any good because they are 12 points away from the safe zone, and with only 6 games left to play, well, not even 6 games left to play, 4 games left to play. Their chances of staying in Bundesliga are basically zero, and I think that they will be getting relegated. Heidenheim on the other side, pretty far away from Europe, pretty far away from the from the bottom of the table, which means that the season is for them basically over. But they certainly don't want to be the team that lost against Darmstadt, who are the worst team in the league by far. So I do expect quite an open matchup between these two teams, and with that in mind, I'm taking the over 2.5 at minus 143. Off to the Italian Serie A, guys, where we have Inter hosting Torino in the first game. And since Inter has won the title against AC Milan last week by defeating them, uh, they will be totally relaxed here. They won't bother themselves with the result. Sure, they want to win. Of course, everybody wants to get a win, but there's no pressure on them. And I don't think that they will be too eager to fly too high forward and stuff like that, which is going to be a great chance for Torino here to get a positive result. So I'm going to take Torino on the double chance at plus 155. Bologna is still in the Champions League spot hunt, and now they're facing Udinese, who is not playing well. They have lost their last 3 games in a row. They are in the relegation zone, and even though Bologna is in that Champions League spot right now, they could definitely get a little bit higher in the standings. Sure, it's not really necessary right now, but I still think that they will go for the win. This is one of their best seasons they had in many, many years. They want to finish it on a positive note. And with that in mind, since they are the better team here, especially at home, I'm taking Bologna -1 at plus 110. Atalanta is hosting Empoli in the next matchup, and Atalanta is a pretty heavy favorite here, as they should be, because they have beaten Fiorentina earlier this week. They have qualified for the finale of the Coppa Italia. However, they are playing in the Europa League semifinals next week, and I believe that because of that, we might see a bit of a shuffle lineup here. I think that Atalanta can still score a goal. However, I don't think they can keep a clean sheet against solid Empoli team who's won two of their last three games. So both teams to score at -118. That's going to be my pick for this one. Napoli and Roma is probably the biggest game of the day in Serie A, and under different circumstances, I would give a chance with Roma here. However, I'm going to take Napoli on the money line because even though Roma is in a better form, they're playing in the Europa League semifinals next week as well. They had that, half an hour game or so the other day. The one that got postponed actually got abandoned and postponed a couple of weeks ago. And once again, I think that they will be resting some players here. So Napoli is definitely due for a nice performance. They are due for a nice win, and if that win is gonna happen, it's gonna happen at home here. So I'm gonna take Napoli on the money line. Fiorentina and Sassuolo is the next matchup we have going on. In the Italian Serie A, and I think this was going to be very interesting as well. Sassuolo fighting to stay in the league. Fiorentina on a bad streak right now, and they got knocked out of Coppa Italia by Atalanta earlier this week. And I think that both teams will be quite eager to get to the scoreboard here in this one, especially Fiorentina at home. So, with all that in mind, guys, I'm taking over 2.5 goals at -133. Off to the French League One, where we have Rennes hosting Brest in the next matchup. And you know what? Even though Rennes is coming off of a nice win from last week, it was certainly a huge confidence boost for them. I'm not buying it that their defensive problems are just gone right now. Brest is still the team that is actually fighting to qualify for the Champions League to get the best result of their history. And at the moment, they are in third place. And like I said, I don't buy it that Rennes' defensive issues are just gone. They kept a clean sheet against Nantes. I think it was an anomaly. But Brest, on the other side, when playing on the road, is actually quite solid, and they're scoring a decent amount of goals. They've scored 20 goals in 15 games. So, because of that, I'm taking both teams to score at -118. Lyon and Monaco is one of the biggest games in the France and in the French League One. And Lyon, even though they're coming off of a loss against PSG 4-1, they still managed to score a goal, and they have been doing that quite consistently, and they have been doing it quite well. Monaco, on the other side, is on a four-game winning streak, and they've kept three clean sheets out of those four games. Now, if they keep a clean sheet on the road against Lyon, I honestly will be very, very shocked. So I'm gonna put my faith in both offices, but with the amount of injuries and suspended players Monaco has, I think the depth will be a problem for them, and there's no way they keep a clean sheet against Lyon on their own. So both teams to score in over 2.5 goals at -133. Marseille and Lens is the last game of the day we have to talk about here, guys. And Marseille now undefeated in their last three games. Their form is on the rise. However, they are playing against Atalanta in the Europa League next week. They really can't afford any more injuries as they're already missing like six or seven players. While Lens on the other side is coming off of a win that was at home, but when playing on the road, they're not that good of a team. However, that one thing could possibly go their way is the fact that Marseille might have a bit of a mixed lineup here for this game. So I'm going to give it a shot with the draw here at +235. I wouldn't be surprised to see a nil-nil game, maybe a 1-1 game if we are lucky. But however I look at this one, I think we are going to get a draw. And now we are up to the parlay of the day, guys. Another four-legger for you here. I'm taking Manchester City on the money line. Tottenham against Arsenal over 2.5 goals. Lyon, Monaco, both teams to score. And Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Union Berlin, both teams to score. This four-leg parlay pays out at +392. We have been doing quite well with these parlays over the last couple of weeks, so let's keep doing it here as well. Let's get another nice winner, guys. Let's have a great day. Good luck with all of your bets, of course. And stay tuned for more free picks coming up soon.